And as you listen now, you may find yourself remembering a time when you felt completely at ease. Or perhaps you're only beginning to notice how effortless it is to simply let go and allow yourself to absorb these ideas without even trying. And isn't it interesting how the more you relax, the easier it gets? The more you allow, the more you realize that strength is not in the attack. No, strength is in the stillness, the knowing, the certainty within. Because you know, when a tree stands tall, it doesn't fight the wind. It sways, it bends, but it never breaks. And just like that tree, deeply rooted, grounded, connected to something vast, you too can allow whatever comes your way to pass through without resistance, without fear. And it's fascinating, isn't it? How the moment someone tries to challenge you, to shake you, to push you off balance, it's the moment you become even more stable, more calm, more in control. Because you know something they don't. You know the attacker is always more emotional than the defender. And as they come forward, as they push, as they probe, you simply watch, observe and echo, because people love to hear their own words, don't they? They say you're wrong. You tilt your head and say, wrong? They say you don't understand. You simply breathe, nod and say, I don't understand. In that moment, something shifts. Their rhythm breaks. Their certainty wavers. Their state interrupts itself. And you don't even have to try, because the moment they expect resistance, and it never comes, they lose their own footing. Because have you ever noticed how a person pushing against an immovable object eventually tires themselves out? And yet that object remains steady, unaffected, unchanged. What's even more fascinating is, as you relax into that knowing, your mind begins to recognize opportunities, to turn any challenge into play, into fun, into a game of curiosity. Because the more curious you become, the more engaged they are. And the more engaged they are, the more control you have. And it's so easy to let them talk, to let them explain. Because the moment someone explains themselves, they begin to convince themselves. And all you do is guide the conversation subtly, effortlessly. What do you mean by that? How do you know that to be true? Is that always the case? Who told you that? Have you ever considered the opposite? And suddenly, they're following your lead. They're stepping into your frame without even realizing it. Because the person asking the question controls the conversation. As you listen now, you may even begin to imagine a moment in the future where someone attempts to challenge you. And instead of feeling tension, you smile because you know how this plays out. And in that moment, you do something unexpected. Perhaps you laugh. Perhaps you tilt your head. Perhaps you simply breathe deeply and let the silence stretch. Because silence is powerful. Silence makes them wonder, makes them question. And in that wondering, they lose their momentum. And by the time they realize what's happened, they're already agreeing with you, already stepping into your way of thinking. Because your presence, your certainty, your ease, it's contagious. It's funny, isn't it? What once felt like a battle now feels like a dance, a playful, effortless dance, where you always lead, without ever pushing. And the more you do this, the more natural it becomes, until one day you simply realize that nothing can shake you anymore. Nothing can pull you out of balance. Because you're the rock, you're the mountain, and the wind, it can't move what doesn't resist. And as that realization settles, you might even begin to smile, because from now on, whenever someone challenges you, you'll remember to relax, to allow, to echo, to play, and to watch as they unravel themselves. And that is real power.